Hello and welcome to The Talk. I'm Doc Sweeney and I have here TigerCouchBoy, and we're going to ask him some questions about his experiences and times here in UE.
Hi.
Why don't we start with how long you've been a part of UE? How long have you been here at UE?
That was a good question because there's technically two answers. So I first got trained into RM, not properly. It was like November 2021. Oh no, sorry, November 2020. I joined for a week and then I left. I don't even remember who trained me. Uh, but then I sort of properly joined back in April 2021 was when I sort of properly got trained. I got trained by Break or Sheriff, sort of like he's kind of called both of them. And yeah, I got trained then as an E1, and that was, I think, nearly 2 years ago now. It's like it's over a year and a half. I know that much. But yeah, so I've been in here quite a while.
And what is your current rank here at UE?
So I'm currently in O10. O10, I mean, all of them are technically generals, but specifically O10 general, branch general of the army. I guess if you want to get more specific. So the head of one of the 6 branches that we have.
Tell me what you think about rec military. What are your thoughts about it?
I mean, I really like it. Like, I guess when I first joined, I hated it. Frankly, I did originally join this place thinking, I'm gonna become a mod and I'm gonna bring this place to the floor. I'm gonna change everything. But yeah, I mean, I was stuck as like an E1 for like 4 months, so I kind of did hate the place a lot of the time because it was like mods just kind of abusing their power, hosts abusing their power, and I mean, it was fun, and like I didn't really, I don't know, I didn't have the best view of it. Like there were times when we did like events, like it got better, and I sort of enjoyed it more. Uh, and over time, I started to really like the place. I think it was when I sort of when I became like a drill sergeant for the second time. I was originally one in Marines because I originally got trained into Marines as an E1. I got demoted to E4, so then I got retrained to Army in September 2021. And when I started training, I sort of like began to like the place a lot more. Like I kind of, I really enjoyed training. I mean, I don't as much anymore, but like I really enjoyed training, and we started doing like more kind of war training, and I still love war training to this day, and I loved stuff like that, and I sort of made more friends. Like I remember Texas, like Texas Red, he was a really good friend of mine. I can't really remember everyone, unfortunately, but I started making more friends, and then when I was about E9, E8, E9, close to O1, I started joining like Parliament, and then I sort of got even more into RM and everything. And I really love it. Like, I love the map. Like, the old map has a special place in my heart. The new map is still really cool, even though it's a year on. Like, I still really like it. And I still genuinely think we're the best, like, clan in all of Rec Room. Like, I like other clans, but I think we have such a good Discord system, thanks to, like, Nicole and Abdul and people like that, and we have just a really cool community a lot of the time. Like people just, you'll see them like chilling on the map, just talking, having fun. It's like we have a soul, I guess. It's like I've fallen in love with like the soul of RM. Just everyone here is just like, it's fun, even if it's like crazy or weird. Like, I don't know. I just really like this place. I'm not that good at explaining it, but like, yeah, it's grown on me.
So you mentioned that you really hated the place at first. What made you stick with it and stick it out to where you are now?
Um, I really don't know. It's kind of a lot of things. Like, I guess at first it was I don't know. I did sort of like the role play aspect. It sort of gave me something to do and just kind of a break from other games and other life and stuff. So I sort of just came on it to like hang out sometimes and just kind of do stuff like that and try and get promoted. Um, and then I guess once I got E5, it was if I might try and sort of get a high rank, so that kind of made me stick with it. So sort of like, being dedicated to my training, getting all the medals, getting all the ranks. That was kind of like my ethos. Like, I'm going to get a high rank and I'm going to try and fix the place. It's like, if I don't like it, then why don't I try and do something about it? And then I guess when I got general, I sort of stuck with the place because like I sort of felt when army was dead, when we only had like sort of 200, 250 members, and this was like even before I got general, army was sort of getting more dead. Like I love Ant and Dark and that, but it was getting kind of dead. And then by the time I got general, it was only sort of me and Tug. Like they sort of retired and left it to me. And then Tug, yeah, again, I love Tug. He's awesome, but like he wasn't really doing anything, so it kind of just sort of fell on my shoulders a bit. And yeah, basically from like April 2022 till about September 2022, I was sort of like trying to just sort of keep the place from not dying. I tried to revive it. I tried to do like, sort of training stuff like drill sergeant training E1s. I think I trained a few E1s. And, stuff like that. I mean, I can't really remember it much. It does sort of feel like a blur, but basically just trying to keep the place afloat as much as I can. And then Black joined, and I think I did actually consider retiring. I can't remember when exactly. I know it might have been in the summer I considered retiring. And then Black joined, and I thought, okay, brilliant. I've got Black as my general. Also, when he got general, not when he joined, but it's like, I've got someone who can take care of the place. And then he got banned. And I was like, oh. So it kind of, went back to me a bit. But I got Glizzy. He became a member of Army in September, and he's been brilliant. I love him, man. He's helped bring up to like 300 members into Army, and that's kind of given me a new sort of purpose. It's like now it's like make Army the best it can be, make the best branch for my members because I care about them, so I want to like make sure that it's the best place possible for them. So it's kind of like, yeah, my sort of the thing that's kept me in UE, I guess, over time has changed, and I am actually still going to retire in September because I have to go to university, but I don't really think I'll retire before then because now I feel it's like, well, it's kind of the last stretch. Might as well make the most of it. So, yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
Who would you say were the most influential people in your early days?
Well, I think, first off, Break, because he was the first person to ever train me as an E1, so I kind of owe him that. And actually Killer, because Killer originally trained me to be E5 drill sergeant. So Killer trained me for that when I was still in Marines. And I thought, like, this guy's cool, he knows what he's doing. I can still remember, like, I can still picture, like, doing that class with him in, like, I think it was, like, July, August 2021, something like that. But I can still picture it. And, yeah, he really influenced me because he was just a very good teacher, and he sort of embodied, I guess, everything that RM was about, like, fun, sort of loyalty and strictness, and also the kind of RP aspect of it. So that was like, yeah, Killer definitely influenced me a lot. I think Panda as well. Panda more personally. Like, I really liked Panda, and we weren't friends for long, but I think it was quite cool when we were friends, and he sort of influenced me a bit in terms of like my thinking outside of rec military. But yeah, I'd say in terms of it, probably Killer, I think, has been the most influential person. I mean, everyone's kind of influenced me. Like Abdul, I guess, in terms of politics a bit. And also Trump, because I was originally part of Trump's party, and then I became part of Abdul's when he ran against the Prime Minister. But I think Trump also just kind of like, as in standing up for what's right, that's what he told me. Like, even though he lost, he still stood up for what he believed in, and I respected that. So yeah, I think they were probably the most influential people, but definitely Killer. And if you're talking about like RM in total, then yeah, I'd say it was him.
So what are your current goals for your future here at Rec Military?
I think just try and make Army better. And I think make the clan better. I mean, it's not like, I only care about Army. I'm just going to dedicate all my time to them. I just want to make the clan like the best place possible for the people in it. because I feel like I kind of had that responsibility. Like, I need to make sure that, you know, everyone's getting promoted so they don't get, like, fall behind and think, you know, oh, nothing's happening to me. Like, I'm not progressing here. So I think, like, trying to do that. And, yeah, obviously make Army the best it can be for, like, the members in it and make sure they're as happy as can be and as comfortable. And, yeah, and I think also just, like, make sure that the right decisions are being made, like, you know, in Parliament or in Council. I guess, like, always trying to think, you know, will this benefit the average E1, I suppose. And I know this is, like, a bit of a tangent, but, like, I know I have, like, this medallion thing, and I've literally worn this ever since I was E1. Like, it's been on every outfit I've had, the sort of medal or level skulls thing. And I think it's to, you know, basically keep reminding me that I was an E1 for 4 months and, like, remind me of, like, how it was and try and think, you know, if I was an E1, what would I want to have happen? Or something like along those lines. So, yeah. So I guess it's just try and make the clan as best as it is, as best as it can be, sorry, for, like, as many people. While, yeah, while still taking everything into consideration, I suppose.
So tell me about what steps you're actively taking to make Rec Military better.
Currently, I suppose in my own branch, well, yeah, in Army, I know it's not RM, but, you know, in Army, I'm trying to make sure everyone's getting promoted on time and trying to do drill sergeant events when I can and stuff like that. In RM in general, I guess it's like trying to make sure to do council votes for people who need them and sort of, I guess, Parliament stuff as well, you know, make sure that's all going all right, raising issues if people have them. Like, if they come to me and ask me or tell me, you know, I have this issue, how can I help, I suppose. I mean, I don't really have any particular projects. I am actually the head of ACC. I think I'm allowed to say this. I think Abdul announced it, but the Anti-Corruption Committee, and that kind of deals with corruption in all the sort of UE clans, like G, SCP, and RM. So I guess you could say I try to work on that. Like, we've had, I can't go into details, but we have had quite a few cases in the last few months that I've sort of personally headed and tried to get information out of to, well, you know, stop corruption or abuse of power wherever. So, yeah, I guess that too. I don't know. I guess it's just trying to, like, be a nice person as well. Like, not be a tick or, like, not let the power go to my head. Like, I think you can still do good stuff even if it's not some big plan or some big project. I think if you're just like even just promoting someone on the map who's like an E1 and they've never been promoted yet, like stuff like that. I don't know, just trying to be active and help people if they need it in whatever way I can, I guess.
What was the best advice and or criticism that you've received throughout your time here?
Ooh, that's a very good question. Best advice. The thing is, I can't remember who told me it, but it might have been some general, maybe like a while back. But it was, I think, basically like just train. Like, I think it could have been ants. I can't remember specifically, but it was basically just like train and good things will happen to you. It wasn't really along those lines. It was just like, keep your head down, just dedicate yourself to training and, you know, you'll get a high rank and yeah, which I guess could be like motivation for, you know, any sort of E5 if you're sort of unmotivated, you know, train and your dreams will come true or, you know, something like that. But, best criticism. I'm not too sure. I mean, it's not technically criticism, but I think when I got demoted, originally when I was an E5 to an E4, that was basically, I guess, for sort of inactivity. Like, because poor Killer, I basically begged him not to demote me, but, you know, he had to do his job. So I guess that sort of, you know, I didn't want to get demoted again after that. And I know, you know, looking back, it's like I was E5 to E4, it's not that important, but I guess that kind of did motivate me a bit to sort of try harder. Because I think I did feel a lot of shame because I looked up to Killer. So like at the time I felt really bad for getting demoted. It was, you know, sort of embarrassing to me. So I guess I know it's not technically criticism, but something bad that happened to me that kind of spurred me on to like try and do better. So like, because I was so proud of being an E5, I was like, I remember telling people on the map like when I was an E4, like I used to be an E5, I used to be a drill sergeant, I used to be able to carry a pistol and wear a fancy uniform, and like I remember being so proud of it. So yeah, I think that was kind of criticism, not verbal, but sort of what actually happened to me as a result of my own kind of negligence that sort of made me want to be better and want to do better.
How do you think outsiders view rec military?
I'd like to think good. I mean, I'm not too sure because I haven't really ever seen or heard anyone talking about it. Like the few times I sort of train people from the rec centre and I tell them, oh, I'm part of this place called rec military, like they never really sort of cared about like, well, they didn't sort of think anything bad or good about it. They were just like, oh, you know, let's go, let's see what it's like. I think some people, I remember in the Oasis War, I mean, obviously they were biased because we were fighting them, but, you know, they said, like, you know, oh, it's corrupt, it's tyrannical, blah, 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 which, you know, I mean, we're authoritarian, so you can't really argue against it, but, you know, we're never, like, that bad. But, like, I mean, I think we're perceived well by most people. Like, we have a few allies and peace treaties, and I personally know, like, I think 2 people who are part of clans or were part of clans, or like clan leaders even, who are like trying to sort of join us because, you know, they like us and they think, you know, that was a good place, we'd be able to get protected, and, you know, it's good to be allied with like good people like RM, you know, they're trustworthy, they know what they're doing. So I think it's sort of, I like to think that the people view us probably with like respect and sort of admiration and probably fear or like, you know, not really liking it, which, you know, I mean, there are clans that I don't like, so I can't blame them for like not liking us. But I'd like to think we've sort of created a relatively positive image for ourselves. And that's sort of what I try to, like, whenever I do raids with Delta Force, I literally made it a rule in Delta Force, like, not to be toxic or not to be overly toxic to people. Like, you know, if you're overly toxic, then you'll get demoted or suspended from Delta Force or removed entirely. Like, I care a lot about our image, so I guess I like to sort of preserve that image that, yeah, even if we do sort of raid or attack clans, you know, we're still like respectful about it. It's like we're just there to do our job. We're not there to cause trouble. So, yeah, I like to think, hopefully, if that's worked, then people just sort of view us, I guess, if not neutrally, then with sort of mutual respect, I guess.
What do you think about the current rec military map?
I mean, I said earlier I like it, which I do. I think, yeah, I mean, I like it. I think I like the whole sort of winter aesthetic. Like, I remember when Abdul showed it to me for the first time, I thought, oh my god, it's like the Soviet Union. Like, I really do like it, I think. I think it's a really cool sort of landscape it's in. I think it's sort of kind of good use of space. Like, all the bases, well, apart from Marines, we sort of only have the beach, but, like, most of them, I mean, yeah, even Marines, they have, like, some sort of detail with, like, the oil wells and stuff like that. Like, it sort of gives space for everyone. And I think it's sort of very well laid out. Like, it's easy to get around. You can literally, like, get from one end of the map to the other in, like, a minute. Yeah, it's sort of detailed without being, like, overly detailed, if you know what I mean. Like, there's still a sort of nice simplicity to it. So, yeah, I really like it. And I think actually as well, like, the nuke and the ray turret are sort of really good additions. Like, they're just kind of cool and, yeah, convenient to use and in any event. So, yeah, I really like our current map. The army base on the UE map was one of my favorite bit just because, like, it is pretty cool and we have 2 levels to it. And I know not many people know, but it's next to the command center. Like, some people don't even know it's there, but just quickly, I'd like to thank, like, Abdul for it, because I basically asked him to do it, like create the army base because we never had a part on like any of the previous bases. So yeah, thanks Abdul.
How secure would you say the current Rec military base is?
Do you mean like from like raids or hacking or something like that?
Just in general, I suppose.
I think it's quite secure. I really like our gate system. I think our gate system of like where there's always at least one door closed, like on whatever side. I think that's really cool because I think it, basically gives people a chance to check bios, and it's like it gives us like a second chance even if someone did get through to like be like, hey, this person is meant to be here, and kill them or something like that. I think the raid gun is a really neat weapon as well because like I said, it can sort of kill anyone who I think it's anyone who isn't trained. Although I don't know if it can kill sort of trained people as well. It's hit or miss, but I think that's a really good system as well. So I think we're relatively safe from like traditional raids, as long as we don't have like someone working on the inside or like a double agent or something like that. And even if we did, like there's sort of places you can go, like we have the bunker as sort of like a last resort, if you will. And we have like the nuke, which sort of kills people at gate if it gets really bad. Like I think we have a lot of solutions, and we have a gate for armory, so we can stop people getting there. I think in terms of hacking though, we are quite susceptible because we did get hacked, I think, a week ago, like about 3 or 4 times. I know some people might remember that. I know I can't remember if that was a clan or if that was like just a random hacker. So I guess we're quite susceptible to hacking. I don't really know how it works, but I think apart from that, we are like pretty safe. I'd say like 90% safe from like traditional raids. I guess if they're somehow able to glitch in, which I've never seen, because I think they have a kill barrier on like the doors and the walls. I've never seen someone successfully glitch in. But yeah, I think we're pretty safe, pretty like secure in the base.
So what do you think about the current Rec military map's music?
I remember when you asked this to Abdul. It's all right. I think I don't know, I kind of like it. I remember like listening to it on my phone for like the first time after and thinking, that was weird to not hear it in like Rec military. I don't know. I think it's all right. I think it's can mute it because I can understand that it can be annoying to people. Like sometimes, I mute it as well. Like, I think it's a cool sort of addition because I've been trying to come up with like a theme for army, like myself and my branch, which hasn't been very successful. But I like the idea of us having like some kind of anthem. I think it kind of adds to the RP aspect, and I don't know, it might create like patriotism or something like that. I mean, I don't really know what I'd change it to. I know Abdul said like Russian anthem, which I guess could be cool. I don't know. I'd probably use like the Roman national anthem. But, well, it's not the actual one they have, but it's all one like it. Like some kind of music like it. Like, so, big, epic, orchestral. Could be pretty cool. So I guess a kind of military theme one. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of in the middle on it, I guess.
Do you know the Rec military motto?
Yeah, it's it's protect with honor, serve with pride. I had to think for a sec. I can remember, like, it's funny, the army one comes to mind first, which is honor, duty, will. Yeah, honor, duty, will, that's the army one, but yeah, it's RM is, yeah, protect with honor, serve with pride. I remember, like, I think they used to have it on the sort of banner thing on the old map. I think they used to have it on like the kind of recruitment thing, like where it had the guy like pointing and shouting like outside gate. It had like, yeah, it had that on it. I think it has it on the current. I think it has it on the current page when you go into RM. I can't remember, but yeah, it's a pretty cool. It's a pretty cool mod.
Have you gone through training? I presume so.
Oh yeah. I went through E1 training. Like, I didn't. I just joined here like everyone else. I don't even remember why I joined originally, but yeah, I joined as an E1, got trained for that, got drill sergeant trained. I don't know if I ever had an S&C interview. I think I just went to E7 and then to E8. I think I had training supervisor. Oh yeah, I think I did because I think sheriff actually did me for that, or the other sheriff, and rated me pretty good, so it was nice. Yeah, I got trained for Black Ops originally before I sort of revived, well, before Glizzy revived Delta Force and I joined Delta Force, but yeah, I got trained for that. Yeah, then got trained for Delta Force, went for all the bachelor's, master's, doctorate degrees. So yeah, I've been trained quite a few times.
The first time you were trained, did you feel eager to serve rec military afterward?
Yeah, I think I did actually. Like I think I remember specifically is when I was doing like the parkour course. I thought like, you know, even though I'm not a real soldier, like it felt, that part sort of probably felt like the most kind of soldier-like, I guess, or sort of most military-like. So yeah, I felt quite eager after that. Like, I don't remember if I fully understood the ranks, or if I did, you know, I never thought I'd be an O10. I just was kind of like, okay, I guess I'll just kind of hang around and do my duties, basically. I never thought I'd meet Ross. Like, I remember meeting Ross for the first time when I was like E5 or E6, and I was like, I think it was like after war training, and I like begged him to promote me, and yeah, he did, to his credit. But yeah, I think I was quite eager to serve, or just kind of like, this is a cool place, so I'll just hang around here and see what happens.
Do you think the training you had prepared you for what you then went on to do in rec military?
Do you mean like the first time I got trained? Like basic
Yes.
training? Yeah, that was like, I think so. I mean, it was kind of like, I don't really remember much of it. I think it was basically just kind of the basic training, which I think prepared me. I mean, it's like I said, I didn't really understand the ranks, or like, I understood them, but I didn't really think much about them. And when I did when I did like the gun training, I think I sort of understood that a bit. And I think I understood not to go into like the other parts of the base and stuff like that. I mean, I think it prepared me. Like I knew what my duties were. I knew like I'd have to go to Armory, I'd have to go to Gate, I'd have to go to Guard Command Center or the White House when that it was in those days. Unfortunately, I didn't really get the promotions. I think at the time I didn't really get prepared for that, and I think that's why I'm sort of grateful we kind of explain in the way that we do now, and we have like the whole other part of the board dedicated to that, because I think that definitely was a kind of failing in the olden days, I guess like a year ago and beyond that. It's like we didn't really explain promotions that well, at least on the old map. And yeah, because like I said, I was stuck as an E1 for like 3 to 4 months because I honestly didn't know how to get promoted. Like a guy said, oh, you just have to ask for it. I was like, what? It's like this was revolutionary to me. So I guess, yeah, it didn't really prepare me for like promotions and actually having a career. It just kind of prepared me to be a soldier. But I'm glad that we sort of do that nowadays with like the new map and the new system. I think it definitely prepares soldiers a lot better for like what they're getting into.
Do you think the current rec military training methods are sufficient?
Yeah, I think overall, I think we have quite a good sort of E1 training when we train people for E1, you know. I think we have a lot more detail when it comes to the ranks. Like it's more than just like listing them out. You know, we have like, oh, these are the SNCOs, these are the NCOs. You get host here, you get mod here. You know, all this stuff. You know, you have to go through bachelors. I think we definitely prepare them a lot more. Although unfortunately, maybe we give them too much information and it sort of causes a bit of an overload. But I think, you know, even if they don't get it the first time, you know, you can go back and look at the boards. I think we do prepare people well because like I've sort of had E1s like ask me quite, I guess in RM terms, you know, sort of intelligent questions like, you know, what clans are we sort of against and asking about like training events and stuff like that. Like it's, I think they're sort of quite well informed, and I think our training for E1s is pretty good. I mean, I can't really see how it could get better, but I think it's pretty good. I think drill sergeant training is also good because, I mean, it's basically them just going through E1 training again, except, you know, it's like teaching them how to train the E1s. I mean, it's basically just a lot of the same stuff, but yeah. And obviously officer school, that's like, I think officer school is brilliant. I think it's one of the greatest things we've done. It's like a great achievement to basically have a school in Rec Room, but yeah, I think that prepares people really well because they have the training document, and then, you know, if they become like a drill sergeant, they can just go back and look through that. And yeah, I think we do, I think our training system is very, very good at the minute. And I think it works better than an automated training system, like what G and SCP have. Like, no shade to them, but I think in a sort of clan like Rec Military, where it is sort of focused on RP and the more military aspects, I think it is good that it's manual, because first off, it gives people something to do and like a way to get ranked up. Like I said, like how important training was to me to getting where I am, and yeah, giving people a purpose, giving them motivation, something to do. And also, I think it's like it teaches the E1s a lot more. Like when you have a sort of automated training system, which is like, you know, do this course, it's like it doesn't teach them. They're just sort of doing a task. They're not like fully understanding what the clan is about or how it functions or anything like that. So I think, and also there's like no one to ask questions to sometimes, or like they might not know the answers themselves. So I think having a sort of manual system, yeah, based on E1s or recruits getting tracked to E1s, drill sergeants getting trained to officers so they can train more drill sergeants, I think it's a very good system. I think sort of the manual system that we have is very, very good, like I said, for like a number of reasons. So, yeah.
Is there anything you would change about the current training methods if you could?
I'd probably make it better. It's like the one thing I always do sort of struggle with is like training people to train drill sergeants. Like, because it's very complicated, because you're basically telling them, okay, this is what you need to train the person to do for them to train the person. Like, I think training supervisors good. Like, the way we have it at the minute is like decent, but I think it could be better. I think in terms of training people to train drill sergeants, I think maybe that could be clearer sometimes, because that still confuses me as a general, like how to train people for that. So I think, yeah, I guess we could make it clearer for that. I'm not really sure how, because I don't really do it very often, but yeah, I think that's one thing we could do.
How many people approximately have you trained over the course of your time here at Rec Military?
Well, I know it's more than 100, and I don't know if that means 100 individuals, because you technically, well, at least when I was training and getting like medals, you'd count like a drill sergeant as 2 people. So yeah, somewhere at least over 50 regular people and at least probably 25 drill sergeants. Definitely more than 100. I mean, I'd say now, because that was like, God, that was like January 2022. So like, I'd say now I'm probably around 140 to 150 people, which includes E1s and drill sergeants. So it might not be 150 individuals. If it was individuals, I would probably say about 100, but yeah, it depends. But I have got all 3 training medals, so the bronze for 25, silver for 50, and gold for 100, which I'm very proud of. Those are like the first sort of 3 medals I ever got, so I was very proud of that. So yeah, definitely over 100.
Do you like training people?
I used to. I mean, I guess it kind of depends what the training is. I quite like training to Delta Force. Like, I do quite like that. Yeah, I think it depends. I don't really like drill sergeant training as much, simply just because it's sort of like just kind of explaining stuff over and over again. Like, I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just a bit more tired, like, than I was a year ago nowadays. But like, I used to find training fun. I used to really enjoy it. I used to sort of like the kind of teaching aspect of it. I kind of do want to be a teacher in the future, but like, yeah, I guess I sort of liked teaching people it. And I used to hate teaching E1s, or I used to like it, and then I hated it, and then I started liking training E5s, then I hated it, and now I kind of like prefer training for like JSFC and doing like SNCO interviews and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm proud of the training that I did, and I have a lot of respect for like E5s and above who train. You know, I really do respect that. That's why I try to sort of reward them when I can for like their hard work. And yeah, I'm very grateful to not have training requirements anymore. That's something I'm very grateful about. But yeah, I don't know. I don't mind training. It just kind of depends on what training it is.
So a while ago you mentioned war training. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So do you mean like how it works, like the details of it?
Yes.
Yeah, so like Well, we kind of like, it's changed over time. I remember when I used to do war training, like about a year ago, we had this kind of forest map. And the way it would work is you would have two teams. I mean, it's still kind of like this now, it's just a different map, but the basic premise is you have like two teams on two sides of this like massive kind of map. Usually has like a river in the middle, like one or two bridges. And basically the objective is get to the other enemy's base, steal their flag, get it back to yours without getting your flag stolen. So it kind of brings in like offensive, defensive kind of tactics like that. Like usually you have like three teams in your team, like one defends and sort of two attack, or two defend and one attack, something like that. You can utilize different weapons, or like you can have like the rifle. Sometimes we have snipers, and sometimes you have different vehicles. Like sometimes you've had cars, like taking people to and from. We've had a tank, which is basically just a reskinned car, but that was pretty cool. We've had like planes, like a plane on each side that just like someone flies and drops like grenade launchers. That was really cool. The current map we have for it now is a sort of snowy, frozen over map. And we do it sort of every, I mean, it used to be a lot more often than it is now. Like I remember we used to have like war training every month or 2 months, and everyone would get like promotions or something like that. Or the winning side would get promotions. I mean, that's how I got to E6. I was on the winning side in a promotion, in a war training, sorry. So like, yeah, we don't really do them as often as much now. I'd say once every 3 or 4 months. But they are still really fun when we do them. And it's just like, it's a massive catch of the flag, basically. But yeah, I think it's really fun because it lets people just like go crazy and just like have fun, or like put their skills into practice, like, you know, that they learn at an officer school. Like it lets them practice that and like be part of a team. It's probably like the most like military RP thing we do, since it's like basically fighting another enemy. But yeah, I think it's a really cool thing. I wish we did it more.
What is your favorite firearm in rec military?
Probably the pistol, because I don't know. I think it's less clunky than the rifle. Like, I always feel weird having it like on my back, on my side. Like it feels like it shouldn't be in my pocket, like as a rifle. But I like the pistol. I think it's quite cool and stylish. And yeah, I just like it. I like the pistol. I mean, I like the sniper as well. I've used the sniper sometimes. That was like the first weapon I got sort of specially trained to. But yeah, I'd say the pistol has a special place in my heart.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how accurately would you say you can shoot?
Ooh. Embarrassingly, probably like a 5. I'm not the best shot in the world. And I won't say I am, because, I mean, I'm okay. Like, that's why I'd go for a 5. I think one kind of reason why I like the pistol a bit more is, like, it kind of it makes up for the inaccuracy by being sort of deadlier. Like, you know, one bullet is kind of like a lot more health taken off than like one bullet from a rifle. So that's kind of why I sort of prefer it, because it means I don't have to worry if I miss as much. But yeah, I'm not the best shot in the world. I'm definitely wouldn't be good enough to get into like Black Ops or Spec Ops. And yeah, I know there's a lot more people in UE who are like definitely better shooters than me, and yeah, I'm certainly not one of them.
Have you encountered any actual combat, whether through an actual raid you have done or someone that has raided you, the base?
Yeah, so I think I was in the original OM war in sort of like 2021. I think I was on like one of the last raids. I think it was when the war was sort of ending. I think I managed to get on 1 or 2 raids then when I was in E1. And then the kind of proper war I was in, where I was basically sort of in it from the start, that was Viper Military. So that was, I think basically this time last year, I think, when we went to war with them. That was kind of like my first sort of proper, okay, I'm in this. I actually have a role to play in this. I think that was when I was 01. I think I just became an officer, and I was like, oh yes, I get to lead people in a raid. I'm an officer. I can lead the charge. So that was sort of the first kind of proper thing, any kind of combat I had. There's actually a picture of me standing next to Roz, or sort of near Roz. It's when like it's all of us shooting from the OM kind of command bit. And I think there's a photo of me there because he said, you know, anyone who's in the raid can get a promotion. So I hopped right on that. Unfortunately, I think Viper have been coming back recently. I can't really go much into detail, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on them. we'll sort it out if they try to attack UE. And then after that was Red Army, I believe, and that was like, I think that was like 2 weeks after. I think it was in February, so it was a bit after January, but that was like 2 or 3 days long. I feel bad for them. We basically smashed them. We just rolled in there and tore them up. I mean, to be fair, the VM thing only lasted like 3 days, but I think the Red Army, actually, no, I take it back. That was like, Red Army was like 2 to 1 day. Like, it was even less than Viper, and we shredded them. And I think I remember being on like 1 or 2 raids there. But, yeah. And then the Oasis war, the second Oasis war that was in sort of early May 2022, I was in that. I remember being on basically like, we did, I think there was like 3 raids where we basically utilized their kind of, we sort of able to get out the map or get onto the ground beneath the map and then sort of sneak round and like enter from the side. This kind of like entrance in the wall, and that was really fun. And I remember I challenged, it's like we challenged one of the, I don't know, like host or mods, like a sword fighting contest. It's like, you know, if you win, then you can stay. If not, then we'll kick you all. And I won, and he just kicked us anyway. But yeah, so I think Oasis was the last sort of experience I had. I have been on raids after with Delta Force, which, you know, I won't go into detail with. But yeah, we've been on about 2 or 3 raids in the last few months, maybe 4. I can't remember exactly. We do have one planned soon. Again, I'm not going to go into detail, but yeah, we have that as well. So, you know, I'll be suiting up for that again. So yeah, I've been in like 3 or 4 wars, I guess, sort of stretched across kind of UE's life. And, you know, they were very fun being in the raids and sort of the whole, I guess, patriotism that came with it as well. And, you know, we were fighting for like good causes. Oasis, you know, our history with them has sort of been not the best. And I mean, me personally, I have a lot of respect for Oasis. Like, you know, Trump was and still kind of is a friend of mine. So I still, you know, I do feel bad. I felt really bad during the second war. I basically, like, had a truce with them, I think, at one point. Like, me just personally on the map, I was like, you know, let's just talk about this. And we kind of just talked it over. But, yeah, I'm still very happy to have taken part in it and fought for the Empire and Wreck Military. And, yeah, I'm proud of what I've done with, like, Delta Force and, yeah, everyone. Sorry, that was really rambling, but, yeah.
Do you like your current uniform that you have to wear?
Oh, yeah, I love it. I do actually have, like, I don't have it on me, but I do have, like, the sort of green conductor outfit. I kind of consider that my more sort of professional, like, ceremonial look. But, no, I'm really happy with my outfit. I think it was a really cool, like, decision to sort of go for these ones, because it does look very kind of drill sergeant-y or, like, militaristic. Yeah, and I think it's nice we get to, like, customize it as well. Like, I have my sort of fur coat, my kind of bag, my hand thing, my medallion. Like, I really, or medal thing. But, like, I really like the uniform. I think it's a cool thing to have, and, yeah, I like it.
Do you think uniforms are helpful?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think first off, because, like, it kind of makes sure that, you know who's on your side. Like, that's how we're most of the time able to identify, like, no ranks. It's like, well, they're not wearing our uniform. They're wearing, like, some kind of random get-up from their dorm. And, yeah, I think it's also just kind of, like, adds to the, like I said, adds to the kind of RP aspect of it all. We're military, so, of course, we're going to have, like, camo tank tops and kind of drill sergeant-esque outfits. So I think, yeah, it adds to the experience, I think they're good. I think they're, like, good to have. And, I guess whatever they're like. But, yeah, I think it's good to have, like, uniforms, because it sort of makes you feel part of something, too, which, yeah, gives you purpose. Something like that.
You said you were head of the anti-corruption agency, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm anti-corruption committee. I'm surprised to remember that. I mentioned that, like, 20 minutes ago, but, yeah.
Sure. What, tell me a little bit more about that.
I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. I definitely can't say who else is in it for security reasons, because, the whole point is that it's sort of secret. I think, yeah, I'm allowed to say it exists, because I know Abdul mentioned it, and I think I know it's I'm allowed to say I'm the head of it, because I believe when Galaxy was the head of it, he was sort of known then. So yeah, people know I'm the head of it. We, like I said, we sort of investigate cases of corruption all across UE. So yeah, GE, SCP, RM, none of you are safe. Sorry, but like, that's a terrible joke. But like, yeah, it's no one, like, we investigate pretty much everyone. So like, not like, obviously, we don't like look into everyone, but like, as in like no one's exempt, if that makes sense. Like we'll investigate like higher ups in any of the clans if necessary to like sort of bring them to justice for, whether that, like I said, whether that's corruption or abuse of power or like complacency and corruption, like allowing it to happen even if you're not doing it, stuff like that. So yeah, and it's something I care about deeply because I was a member of ACC under Galaxy, and it was like something I believe in. I believe very much in, everyone is equal before the law or justice and stuff like that. And I believe that corruption's like a really bad thing in clans because it just sort of undermines everyone's hard work. And like I said, it's like when you think about the E1s, they're stuck at the bottom because they might not be able to rank up because someone else might get the rank who's like a best friend of the owner instead or something like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be that. It can be like other stuff like, sort of not demoting people or not banning people when they should be banned or banning people for stupid reasons or I don't know. I could go on. But it's like, I think it's good that we have it and I'm very, very honoured to be leading it and, I'm grateful to Abdul for giving me the position, but I think it's a very good thing that we have. And like I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail. But yeah, I'm very proud to be the head of it.
So I notice you're wearing 2 belts. Is there a specific reason for that? Do your pants are they really heavy?
No, it's just I mean it's kind of like the belt for the bag. I don't know if you can really see, but I've got like the bag and it's just kind of another belt. I mean, it kind of looks weird. It makes me look like some like anime character or something, but I don't know. It's just like another kind of belt. There's no like significance to it. I don't even have any pants. I'm just a torso. I don't have any legs. I just end at the torso. But yeah, no, there's no significance to that.
Do you think a hamster should be added to the royal family?
Definitely. I love hamsters. Like I had a pet hamster in real life and he died when I was like 7. Nibbles, I think his name was. I love that guy. Yeah, I think we should definitely bring a hamster. I think there should be like a citizens initiative to bring that to Parliament or like, directly tell Abdul or Roz or Awesome or whoever. I think we should definitely have Crown Prince hamster or something like that.
Are lampshades a good disguise?
Depends on the setting. I think if it's like a dark room or like a relatively dark room and you kind of like make out the details, I think so. Because you kind of just look a big shape. Like if you're kind of in the shadow with a lampshade on, it's like, no one can really tell. I mean, obviously if there's like, if the room is not lit, you could obviously make out some of it on, but I guess like if you utilize it in the right environment, then it could be good. I don't know, maybe JSFC could adopt them. Use them in raids to like hide in the corners. I don't know.
How has your time here affected your mental health?
I think it not that badly. Like it's never got to the point of like kind of causing anything serious. I mean, I did almost like a few months ago. I did want to leave because of like my mental health a bit. I did consider retiring again, though. Kind of, I was worried about army dying, and I mean, it wasn't like that serious, but it was like it was sort of causing a bit of extra stress in my life at a time when I didn't really need it. I think I was basically just quite inactive for a while because of it. I think just sometimes the stress of the job, like I do sort of worry about, what might happen to me. Will I get banned for something? Not that I'd never do anything like against UE, but it's sort of always crossed my mind, like, what would happen if I just got banned? Would I like, yeah, because there has been times I've come close to it. Not because I've done particularly anything bad, but I might have been affiliated with people who were doing bad stuff or worrying that I might have neglected to do something or not do something or something like that. So like, yeah, I guess the stress of that and sort of worrying about my position, like, will I get demoted for this? Like, you know, if I'm too inactive or something like that. That was sort of stressing me out when I wasn't active. Like, I was worrying, am I going to get demoted? You know, I need to make sure I'm training and doing my duties and stuff like that. So I think it's kind of like stress. And yeah, I mean, I do try not to let this game affect real life. As in, like, I have friends on here, but I'd never want to get too involved, like, with their lives. Like, I kind of have that, like, as a thing. Yeah, I do kind of have a sort of personal philosophy of, like, I don't want to be friends so much with this person that it does kind of affect my real life. Like, in a way that sort of makes them a kind of staple part of my life. I don't really know how to explain it. It's not like I don't want to be friends with people. Like, I have friends on here. I don't want it to be a sort of extra thing in my life that I kind of have to worry about. It's a very cynical way of looking at it, and I feel bad for, like, thinking about it that way. I think it's just, like, stress. That's just mainly it. But I think it's all other stuff that kind of combines with that. Like, either from my Rec Room experiences or other stuff that just kind of did bring me to quite a few low points. But I've bounced back, and I try to be a sort of optimistic, kind of cheery person when I can. Try to sort of, like, you know, no, it's no biggie. Like, you know, yeah, I don't know. Try and just brush it off when I can.
What would it take for you to actually decide to leave rec military?
Uh, well, I mean, I guess IRL stuff. Like, because I am going to university, so I am definitely leaving when I go to university because I can't take my PlayStation with me. I mean, I'll still, like, probably be a VIP and hang around in, like, the Discord, but I'm not gonna come on the map because I can't. And I probably won't have time to anyway because, you know, I'll be doing university stuff. But, I guess apart from that, I'm not sure. Maybe if, like, the clan, like, changed so much where I thought, like, I can't do anything to help it. Or, like, not help it, but I guess if the clan changed so drastically or, like, RM changed so drastically, whether that be, like, just the way it works or, like, I don't know, just, like, the idea of RM in my mind, if that was so drastically changed, like, I guess I might leave because it would be like, well, if this isn't the place where I belong anymore, then maybe, you know, I might as well leave. And sort of let someone else who likes it take the position. Or, like, I guess if I just sort of feel that, yeah, there's nothing good I can do here anymore, again, you know, for whatever reason, then I'd probably leave. Like, you know, I'm here to serve at the end of the day, so if there's sort of nothing I can do to help, then just leave. But I'd say that's quite unlikely. It's more likely I'd leave because of IRL stuff. Like, hopefully I'll leave in September. I won't leave before then, but it would probably be, like, mental health stuff that I'd probably leave. But I've worked too hard for this rank. Like, I have worked, and, you know, I hated some parts of training, so I'd never do it for, like, a trivial reason. Like, I'd sort of never do it for, but I don't want to say something silly because, you know, everyone's different, but in terms of what I see as trivial, I'd never leave because of that. I'd just try and work through it. Like, it would have to be something quite big to make me want to kind of give up everything I've worked for, you know, never get this rank back again, maybe. So, yeah, it'd have to be something big. But it'd probably just be IRL problems at the end of the day.
Do you prefer low-cut, ankle-high, or knee-high socks?
Is this a kink question? Or is this just like a
I
general
don't believe
question?
so, no.
Oh,
How has your time here affected your physical health?
ironically pretty well. Because, I mean, I started, like, in sort of 2021, I kind of started working out a lot more. So I've nearly been doing that for 2 years. So yeah, ironically, my time in UE has probably been better for my physical health. Not, like, directly attributed to it, but, like, throughout it, I've sort of been getting fitter. And I think I'm at a really good place in my body. Like, I consider myself to be sort of lean or toned or something like that. Like, well, I'm not going to describe my body, but, like, I'm very happy with my physical health. I think I eat a lot of fruit and vegetables. I always try to eat, like, you know, at least one fruit or veg a day. Like, you know, like an apple, banana, salad, I don't know, something like that, peas, beans, I don't know. Like I try to maintain a healthy body. I think probably RM, actually no, one thing that RM has done for my physical health, which is probably bad, is like I stay up too late playing it. Like I'll stay up, I think I used to, I'm not as bad as I was, but I used to stay up to like 1 or 2, even like 3 a.m. on here, which, yeah, probably not very good for my sleep schedule. I try to sort of not stay on as long, which unfortunately is kind of hard because, you know, I have like Delta Force stuff, I have Army stuff, I have training, I have interviews, you know, stuff like that that I need to deal with. But I try to sort of not stay on as late. Like most of the time I'll be off by like 11 p.m. or half 11 at the latest, or even half 10, like, which I think is a lot better than it was. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's really had a, I wouldn't say RM's had like an overall negative experience, like effect on my health, particularly. Like I said, quite the opposite. But I mean, I guess in terms of like my sleep schedule, it's probably messed up a bit. And also maybe I'm sort of sitting, because like I sit on a beanbag. I don't have like a gamer chair. I sit on a beanbag in front of my TV. So like, I don't know how good that's for my posture, but I'm probably crouched over most of the time, like cross-legged. So yeah, but thankfully that hasn't had any adverse effects yet. So yeah, hopefully it won't in the future.
I think that'll wrap up this interview. Thank
Oh
you
wow.
very much.
Thank you. I was running out of breath. I need to drink some water or something, man.